as you can see, this is going to be an unboxing of the Raspberry Pi 3. And full disclosure, I have opened this previously, but I didn't do anything else with it. Just wanted to see that it was there. As you can see, this is Raspberry Pi 3 Model B. I wanted to get the best I could. Don't buy a whole lot of electronics. Generally repurpose things. So this is the best I could find. Reasonable price as well on Amazon. And inside here we got some heat sinks, it looks like. Also a nice thank you note from the seller. Power supply, that was the one thing I really had to have, was the 2.5 amp power supply. I've got plenty of 1 amps, but you start hooking things up and that's simply not enough. What we'll do is we'll end up installing Raspbian on this first. I'm going to show you how to do the SD card, format it from within Mint Linux, and also go ahead and install the operating system on your card from within Linux. As you can see, my little Raspberry Pi has its documentation, and came in a little bag, kind of like a donut bag when you get the real cheap donuts, you know, because obviously if I'm not buying electronics a lot, I'm not buying big time donuts. So we'll take this out and see what she looks like. Assuming I can actually open the package with any degree of success. There we go. Just gonna get a little wild here. Let's toss this thing. Yeah, there we go. And here is the Pi coming out. 4 USB ports. Processor is visible. The very top. See what we can do about the light. Alright, nice close up here. There's the processor. If I'm not mistaken, the smaller one is probably the video processing or the RAM. I'm not real sure on that, so don't crucify me in the comments. Of course, we got the HDMI port, Ethernet, power supplies next to that HDMI port on the side, as well as the audio video jack there for old component. There's the GPIO on the top. Good for hooking up the sensors, which we have a smart home IoT sensor kit here my buddy couldn't use. So that should be fun. A lot of weather related stuff in this kit. Barometric pressure, temperature sensor, temperature and humidity. Also a smoke detecting sensor. A lot of cool stuff included with this, as you can see here. And that's it. I think we need to get down to installing Raspbian. This is a beautiful little piece of electronics. Very impressed with this. So let's get to it. Okay, so now we've seen that Raspberry Pi 3 in all its glory. It's time to put an operating system on it. So I've already inserted my SD card, or the micro SD, with an adapter to make it fit in my regular SD card slot. We need to download Raspbian. That's what we're going to be using. Just kind of to see how everything works and fool around a little bit. So I'm going to download the zip file. Very easy. You just find it from raspberrypi.org/downloads/Raspbian. This is the version with the Pixel desktop, I believe. And we are going to save the file. Of course, through the magic and majesty of technology, in the next moment you see this, it'll be downloaded and we'll continue with the install to the SD card. It's worth noting, as this gets closer to completion downloading, I'm using Linux Mint, and doing this in Linux is a little bit different from Windows. Now I've already inserted the SD card. And what you need to do in order to install this operating system is we're going to find our SD card, and I named it Raspy. I've already done this particular part, and what I do is simply right click, and we have several options. There's the option to format. You want to format this as FAT32. Very useful that you can do this right off the bat in Linux, because in Windows you have to get a special formatter to do this. I've done it and it's not really a big deal, but it does make things easier. This is a functionality Linux already has. Let's see if this is downloaded. Well, it doesn't say failed, so that's good. Now there's several ways to go about installing it on the SD card. I'm going to use one of the graphical ways. What we're going to do now is actually unmount this drive, reject, same thing. Alright. And for some reason it saved it in an odd folder. We're going to put that somewhere else. Let's just go with downloads, generally a pretty good place. We're going to extract this. And it's going to take a moment, it's a big file. Alright, it's unzipped now. So there's our Raspbian image. Now what we want to do is, this comes with Linux Mint, the USB image writer. And downloads. We're going to choose our image. My drive isn't showing up, so I might go ahead and reinsert this disk and see what happens. Alright, there's the SD card, and what do you know, now it's available, so I guess don't unmount. If you do this from the command line, you will have to unmount it, but that's another story for another day. And we're just gonna write. Of course, this is gonna want administrator privileges. And this is going to take a minute because this is a large file, of course. Looks like we're about done. It's actually taken several minutes, but as I've said before, I'm not using top-of-the-line hardware or anything like that. Pretty realistic situation here for a lot of us. We make do with what we've got. Looks like it was successfully written. So I'm going to close this program. We're going to go. Let's just check our disk. I'm guessing it's the 4.3 gigabyte one. Yep. And as we can see, looks like we've got our Raspbian operating system here, based on Debian, of course. Hopefully the next time I'm talking to you is going to be from the Raspberry Pi itself. Should be good times. Alright folks, this is the last leg of the journey here with Raspbian and the Pi 3 for now. I successfully got the Raspbian installed and it worked. Also successfully got the RetroPie working. There was a little bit of oddness with the controller. I'm assuming that is just because as I was using it, it fell on the floor. The Raspberry Pi, that is, not just the controller. And I went ahead and recorded, as you can see, with Voco screen rather than Kazam, because Kazam doesn't work. I went ahead and recorded some footage here from the Raspbian on the Pi. A lot of course, programming tools. I love using Python, so that's going to be extra special for me, because from what I've seen, Python is pretty handy as far as programming goes, using the sensors and the GPIO outs on the Raspberry Pi. As you can see, I tried to do a little bit of explaining as I went along, but it just didn't record the sound. The video, of course, it looks great, but not the sound, so there is that. Anyway, I'm going to figure out what's going on with that, so hopefully I can do videos from within Raspbian in the future when we're doing some little things, because I do plan on doing some work with those weather sensors. We've got tons of different sensors here. It looks like there's a smoke detector, barometric pressure, temperature, digital touch module, photosensitive light sensor, vibration sensor, sound detection, buzzer alarm, temperature and humidity sensor. There's really a carbon monoxide detector. There's a ton of stuff here, and that's going to be fun for us to play with. Hopefully I'll help someone else out, but I would have gone through and troubleshooted and seen what's up with the sound. I want to get this video up. I'm really excited about this, and that's kind of how I get. Like I said, I don't get a lot of new electronics, a lot of things to play with like that. So having this is like a kid Christmas morning, Santa's come, and oh, what the hell, the Easter Bunny just stopped in for shits and giggles. So thanks for watching the video, folks. Be sure to like, comment, let me know what else is going on. And I think I will start accepting hardware just to repurpose. Just something a little fun to do. You never know what you're going to get through the postal service. But in any event, thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.